humbling, in fact, to follow that fine speech by the noble Lord O'Neill of Clackmannan, and indeed so many others during these 2 days. It's been a good debate, a great debate for the reputation of this House, and we need it. But it's a funny old world. When I stood up in this House 3 years ago and introduced a private member's referendum bill, dare I be honest, I expected it to be a snowball in hell moment, and I wasn't disappointed. I remember during a crucial division when one noble lord climbed onto the leather bench, pointed to the not content lobby and cried, "This way to kill the bill." Now, I thought that was rather strange for a Liberal Democrat to do, given the party's previous passionate commitments to a referendum, but consistency, I suppose, is no more than the sign of a closed mind. Yet, there has been consistency of a sort. Let's put our referendum in the context of others. For instance, the earlier referendums on the proposed EU constitution. Noble lords will remember that voters in France rejected that proposal. Then voters in Holland, huge majorities. But the EU didn't simply throw in the towel. It rose up. It ignored those referendums, just carried on, brought the constitution back, every clause, every comma, called it the Lisbon Treaty. Now, that treaty, too, was rejected by the voters in Ireland. So they were cajoled and threatened and forced to hold another referendum until eventually they gave the right answer. There has indeed been a consistency in approach, and that has been repeatedly, over many years, to ignore the people in the name of some higher ideal, like preventing German domination in Europe. Well, that worked well, didn't it? And now our own little referendum has got out of hand, delivered the wrong result. And the response is precisely the same. Change it, delay it, get rid of it, hold another one in the hope that they'll change their minds. 293 amendments were proposed in the other place, and already the amendments are piling up here like a snowdrift. Some, of course, are entirely genuine, but as for too many, I am reminded of the words of that noble, if nameless, lord, "This way to kill the bill." My lords, this is a time of considerable passions. The noble Lord, Lord Newby, was passionate yesterday and last week when he said that we have to amend this bill because, and I hope I'm quoting him accurately, we don't trust Theresa May. Well, it's a point of view, but it's possible that the noble Lord has forgotten that, according to every opinion poll, Theresa May is trusted by many, many more people than either Mr. Corbyn or Mr. Barron. I'm sorry, I almost said Farage, but he's the one who's well known. But come on, let's be fair. Personally, I find it uplifting that those who wanted to abolish this House, this unelected House, in the name of the people, now want to use this unelected House to defy the people. My lords, that takes courage. This House has a right, no, more than a right, it has a duty to examine every bill. But alongside that right stands our overwhelming responsibility to the people. I'm not suggesting we should wash our hands of the details of withdrawal, but the appropriate vehicle for that examination, that serious and maybe searing examination described so eloquently this afternoon by the noble Lord Lord Treesman, will be the Great Repeal Bill and other associated bills. I might even join in. Brexit may be a simple word, but it ain't going to be a simple process. And I hope that the next 2 years of debate and discussion will mark a renaissance in the reputation of this House. We are parliamentary worms, but we may yet become glowworms. But, my Lords, if we amend this bill, today's bill, we know that it will come straight back. We will have achieved nothing but delay. And we will, I fear, have undermined our credibility at a time when almost everything we do is being mocked in the media. My Lords, we are a constitutional anomaly. We have no rights other than those that are tolerated by the people. It's not our role to second-guess the people, or to wish that they were wiser, to treat them as children, or to refer to them as a mob, as I thought I heard suggested earlier, and least of all, to insist that we know better than they do. That is just the sort of arrogance that dragged us into the tragedy of Iraq. We have been given that awesome but utterly unambiguous instruction to start the process of withdrawal in the name of the people, by the will of the people. I believe it's our responsibility to respect their instruction, to allow that process to begin, and to do so without delay.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.